Good evening. Welcome to the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. I'd like to thank you for joining us here this evening for the Black Conservative Voice. I got some stories for you today. I was watching a Newsmax program recently. I watch Newsmax occasionally, and Newsmax had an interview on there. I think it was Chris Salcedo and Stacey Washington from Black Voices for Trump, the co-chair. They had an interview, I guess, I don't know, it was a few hours ago, maybe yesterday, I'm not sure exactly what. But in some point in that video that I was watching, they played a clip from an interview on 60 Minutes where President Obama was talking about the country and the things that are going on. I have never seen a president so active and after presidency as President Obama, campaigning for the other candidate for the Democrat Party. Well, I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be or the way it's going to be from now on, but it's definitely been that case where President Obama was out, former President Obama was out campaigning for Joe Biden, who was taking a nap in his basement. Anyway, in the interview, he talked about unity and all these things like this. Same stuff he talked about when he came to office that he did not do. A lot of Democrats, like what they always do, they have all these things they say they're going to do, and they don't do it when they get into office. Well, what was interesting to me was talking about all these different things about we need to come together as a nation. I don't care if you did this, was in this law. We need to take responsibility for things that we've done. His words were good. His words were very good. But the fact that he's trying to make everybody come into this responsibility thing is kind of amazing to me. And talking about that, he mentioned the Jim Crow Act, and we all know where that actually came from. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. There's been talked about Robert Byrd, one of the KKK leaders, maybe with a Grand Wizard at one time. When he died, Joe Biden spoke at his funeral and talked about how he was his mentor and how he just kind of worshipped this guy. Yet has anybody said anything whether he is involved with race hatred? No, nobody asked him that question. Yet they asked the President of the United States whether he was along with the white supremacists. They kept asking him over and over again. There's something that I want to bring out. And maybe some of you experienced this in your life. Maybe your parents may have told you this. I know I heard it from my dad and my mom at times. What they told me is a lot of times when people are doing wrong things, they have it in their mindset that everybody else is going the wrong way with them. So their assumptions move along the same line as where they're going. In other words, if you have somebody that is a white supremacist and they're talking to somebody who is not a white supremacist, they try to load that information onto them. Just the fact that President Trump constantly said over and over again, I do not support this type of behavior, nor do I support any groups that spew out hate. Also talk about BLM and Antifa. Have we ever heard Joe Biden denounce BLM or Antifa? All he says, well, I'm not for the radical groups. Well, hey, one of the radical groups identified themselves with you and had their site directly go to your campaign funding. That was Antifa. Now, I don't know if they still have it there, but you can look up Antifa and we'll take you straight to Joe Biden. So maybe you're trying to protect your investors. Joe Biden is not the president-elect. He is just somebody who ran in a race. We're going through the process right now, and we're going to find out who wins in the end. Even if he maintains and he becomes president-elect. Let me share something with you. For first thing, remember what I just said. A lot of times your parents tell you if somebody is guilty of something, a lot of times they try to transfer the guilt onto you. I think it's a psychological thing. I had some issues years ago in my life where somebody tried to transfer their guilt onto me. And I'm like, no, that's not me. I've never behaved that way. How can you transfer that onto me? And this is what the Democrat Party is doing. Does systemic racism exist in this society? You know what my answer to that is? Yes, systemic racism is real. Yes, and it has a name, the Democrat Party. That is the name of the systemic racist in this country. You realize that? Let me help you. Let's go down memory lane a little bit. Let's take a little trip into the 1800s, the late 1800s, with a gentleman by the name of President Abraham Lincoln, who penned the Emancipation Proclamation to free slaves. Let's talk a little bit about who was against this process. Do you know if it was not for a few Democrats that came over, the majority of Republicans were for the Emancipation Proclamation. But a few Democrats had to kind of help them, because at that time, I'm assuming that the Democrats had control of the House, even back then. And man, they tried their darndest to keep the emancipation from being passed. Only a couple of Democrats came on the side of the Republican Party. All the Republicans were for the Emancipation Proclamation, which was involving freeing of slavery. Blacks, African Americans, what do you want to call us? That's what is involved, people. I say today that the Democrats are still systemic racists. In 1964, the Civil Rights Act, they filibustered for up to 72 hours against the passage of the Civil Rights Act. And I'm going to tell y'all something out there right now. Black folks, listen to me. They already talk about rescinding the Civil Rights Act. Do your history, do your checks. Everybody's ignoring this. The Democrats are already talking, they got people in that party already talking about rescinding the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Everybody's avoiding that. Your liberal fake news media, not liberal, I'll say radical fake news media, is totally avoiding it. Just they're done with this thing with Hunter Biden and all this other junk. I say that the Democrats have always sought to keep blacks in some type of bondage. They came up with welfare that put a lot of our people into bondage for years. Many died under the welfare system. Many. I know some, even in my history, and the people I've known who have died getting a welfare check with somebody else instead of going out and accomplishing things in their life. Oh, well, the check's coming. I'm just going to say, wait for the check. I get my food stamps. This is a type of bondage and a type of slavery. So they attacked President Trump. And remember, I'm talking about comparison. When you're guilty of something, you tend to attack the other people as though they do. So they attacked President Trump. But guess why they're really attacking President Trump? Well, I'll tell you in a moment when I come back. We are watching the Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth.
Hello, CTM News viewers. We love you and appreciate you. I'm, of course, Raina Rose, host of Soul Nutrition on CTM News. I'm excited to tell you about my new book, Sin Tastes Good, Nourishing Your Soul in an Empty Calorie World, where we explore connection to God, self, and other people around us. Have you ever wanted to deepen your connection with God, deepen your connection with those around you, and deepen your connection with yourself? Well, this is the book for you. We dig into questions about what we want our lives to look like and answers of how to get there. It comes out Thanksgiving 2020, and I can't wait to have you all read Sin Tastes Good along with me. For special updates, please follow my Instagram, which is The Soul Nutritionist, with little underscores underneath the words. And also, if you would like to email me for some exclusive content from this book, my email is raina@raina-rose.com. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. God bless and keep you, and nourish your soul.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Now, I was about to tell you why the Democrat Party attacked President Trump. Okay. Remember what I said about the Democrat Party. They are the one that's saying that the Americans, systemically racist. Remember about the Democrat Party. They don't want to hear nobody else's words. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They'll listen to their own voice. I got my time. Let me speak. But they don't want to hear you. So who's talking? Who's the one talking about systemic racism? The Democrat Party. They're not listening to nobody else. Nobody else's opinion is able to be brought out. So when they talk about systemic racism, they're talking about themselves. What I tell you, Emancipation Proclamation, the Civil Rights Act, they fought against that. And hey, did we forget one? Oh yeah, we did. Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow laws, segregation laws were all put in play by the Democrat Party. And everybody keeps ignoring it. Even the conservative media ignores this a lot of times. And I just want to bring it out into the front. Because the thing is they don't like black people. And I don't care if it's blacks in their party or not. But I'm just saying, they don't like blacks. They don't like Hispanics. Who gets hurt the most by when they shut down everything? Who gets hurt the most? Who gets hurt the most when they hold back stimulus checks? The disenfranchised and the poor. The people who they sold into the slavery of welfare and other things that are putting our people in bondage. Oh, I need to get an education. They're going to give me a check every week. They're going to give me food stamps every time I turn around. If you want to believe the Democrat Party is for the black people or the Hispanics, you're blind, my friends. You're very blind. You're very blind. Emancipation Proclamation, Civil Rights Act, Jim Crow law. Jim Crow law was created by the Democrat Party. Emancipation, which freed the slaves, came out against by the Democrat Party. They fought hard to stop it. The Civil Rights Act, they filibustered. The Democrats filibustered for over 70-something hours against the Civil Rights Act. Think I'm joking? Look at your history. This is the truth. This is why President Obama, former President Obama, thank God, got up there on 60 Minutes and that guilt was all over him. Oh, we need to all take responsibility. No, we don't need to all take responsibility, Mr. Obama, living in Martha's Vineyards and all the other expensive places you could find to place your houses. I don't have 5 houses. Does anybody out there have 5 houses? I'm sure some of you may be wealthy enough. But how many of us in this country have 5 beautiful homes in high-class communities? Yet President Obama does, or former President Obama. Yet we accuse President Donald J. Trump of being greedy and thinking about money, yet he's not taking a penny from the American people through any payment. Anything he gets, he puts in charity. He don't need our money. He cared about the American people. That's why he was in here. But I'm telling you something. Look out. I'm hoping it goes his way. But President Trump is going to be a power player in this country for many years to come. I don't care whether they put him back in office or not. He's going to be a power player in this country because the American people have a defender. And he's going to continue to defend us. I believe he'll defend us regardless of whether he's president or not. He may run for governor somewhere. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But I will say this other thing too. This is a thing that disturbs me very much. Why do we have a projected president, Joe Biden? I believe, this is the way I feel, and I believe they need to make a law or ruling on this in Congress and the Senate, especially, to limit the terms of presidents. 8 years, right? It should be the same for vice presidents. If they're in the House for 8 years, they should not be able to run to head this country again. They had their opportunity. They did. They had their opportunity. So why do we have a Joe Biden running for president in the first place? He already screwed the country up one time, and he's trying to bring back all the cronies from the Obama era. Anybody notice that? He's trying to bring them back. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth.
Hello, CTM News viewers. We love you and appreciate you. I'm, of course, Raina Rose, host of Soul Nutrition on CTM News. I'm excited to tell you about my new book, Sin Tastes Good, Nourishing Your Soul in an Empty Calorie World, where we explore connection to God, self, and other people around us. Have you ever wanted to deepen your connection with God, deepen your connection with those around you, and deepen your connection with yourself? Well, this is the book for you. We dig into questions about what we want our lives to look like and answers of how to get there. It comes out Thanksgiving 2020, and I can't wait to have you all read Sin Tastes Good along with me. For special updates, please follow my Instagram, which is The Soul Nutritionist, with little underscores underneath the words. And also, if you would like to email me for some exclusive content from this book, my email is raina@raina-rose.com. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. God bless and keep you, and nourish your soul.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth, and my name is David Colbert. And like I said to you earlier, we live in a country with Democrats that are systemically racist. They have underlined things when they're talking. Hillary Clinton, what did she say? She called us deplorables. Well, was she talking about everybody? Or was she just talking about the blacks and the Hispanics that supported President Donald J. Trump? Hey, guys, look at this. Let me tell you something. They just want us to shut up and accept that projected Joe is a president-elect. And let me just tell you this. I don't want to let this go because you need to understand this. The reason why they're so mad at Donald J. Trump, they were mad at him in the beginning when he told the black people that, what have you got to lose? He told them what did they got to lose because they knew what they had to lose. And guess what? Guess what it was? Nothing. By accepting what President Trump said he was going to do, they had nothing to lose, but everything to gain. And President Donald J. Trump made sure that they gave it. Historic black colleges funding for 10 years. They're going to have to fight trying to get rid of it because we still have control of the Senate. So any bills that are passed have to get through the Senate. So we're going to hold on to that historic black college funding. Pray, no matter what happens. So anyway, that's not the only thing. Jobs. President Trump was telling you the truth when he told you get Biden in there, you're going to lose your jobs. The reason why we know all this stuff with these election things are fraud and lies, because why would Pennsylvania, why would Ohio, why would Michigan, and of course Texas is not going to let it happen, but why would they allow themselves to be put through unemployment again? If he gets in control of that, he's going to kill oil and gas. That's what projected President Joe Biden is already talking about. And Donald Trump said that they were going to do some other stuff, and they did it. Have you noticed that what do you call them? The COVID-19 cases are rising. Anybody notice that? Isn't it strange that in the news the COVID-19 cases all of a sudden 12,000 in one day. Give me a freaking break. Ain't that many people being tested? They're raising these things to distract you from the fact that they are crooks and criminals, the Democrat Party. They're controlling the media, telling you a lie once again. They proved in Florida how they lied about the numbers about COVID-19 before. The CDC already said that very sick people died over these hundreds of thousands of cases of COVID-19. Only 10,000 cases, or 10%, were actually deaths from actual COVID-19 alone. And not only that, you notice that the fake news media is telling you about all these additional positive testing, but are they talking about the vaccine? That is 90, and one's 90%, the other one is 94% capable of ending this virus. Why are we not talking about that? Why are we talking about all the positive cases? Why are they not coming on saying, well, thank God that we have a vaccine now. Even though the cases are rising, we'll be able to deal with them and treat them, get them under control. Have they said anything like that? No, because the fake news media and the Democrats do not even want you to respect the science. They keep saying respect the science. President Trump had nothing to do other than the fact that he presented it to the people in charge to let them prepare this virus. Even they fell on the side of the liberals by not releasing these reports till after the election. So, what do you think? I think it was a cure for COVID-19 before. And Facebook and y'all don't block me. I think it was before. No fact checks, none of that garbage. I think there was one before they even had this. They blocked it in social media. They blocked it all over. And, and even President Trump, he proved it. He was there at the hospital, 4 or 5 days. He was out, he was free, and he became immune. So, Regeneron, he told you right there. You think Regeneron just popped up? No, it's been out there. So, we see a media that's trying to stop what is going on. I don't believe that COVID-19 cases are reported correctly, number-wise. To me, this is just an attempt to distract from the challenging of the improper, irregular election results that were given through these swing states. Have you noticed all of a sudden it was a swing state we're having these problems? Come on, people. Why was it the swing states? Because that's all they can control. They did some control in the other states. Let me tell you something else about that Dominion system that's owned by Hillary Clinton and her cronies. Texas refused to take it. And guess who won in Texas? President Donald J. Trump. What do you think? Donald J. Trump won all 5 of those swing states and any other states that they're trying to cheat him out of. President Trump has continued to bring the troops home as well. 1 month ago, he said the Dems would do exactly what they are doing right now. They're not going to listen to you. He was telling you about what he's done and whatever. And unfortunately, I have family members that go along with this foolishness that they hear out here in the media. Black folks and Hispanic folks and minorities, the Democrats are angry and upset because of what President Trump is doing for our people. The black people, Hispanic people, the Democrat Party is systemic racist. They are the ones that are systemic racist. Tell me they're not. Even in our own communities, they're trying to promote racism. Hatred against a white man who is the president that's not in their front pocket. President Donald J. Trump. They'll use these terms any possible way they can. I learned a long time ago, when people are ignoring your accomplishments, it is because they wish they could have done it. I said it early on, if you watched me before, I said it early on, the Democrats had nothing to run on. So they come out this flimsy Affordable Care Act, and that's what Joe Biden ran on. Because President Trump had taken their black people from them. 18% percentage of black votes. 18% of the black people voted for them. And they're mad too, because they're saying the Democrats stole the election from them. And I told you why before. Because if you were a Democrat before and you switched parties, they did the switcheroo on you in the computer. They flipped you back over to Democrat, even if you voted for Trump. That's my opinion. not necessarily opinion of CTM News or its affiliates. One word, jealousy. Yes, jealousy. The Democrat Party was jealous because Donald J. Trump beat them to the punch. And not only did he beat them to a punch, he actually accomplished what they have been lying to our black people for years. They've been lying about this crap for years. The simple concept is this: truth. Truth is a simple concept. They are jealous of President Trump of what he has done for the minorities in this country. He exposed their lies. And let me tell you something else. They're the ones who are xenophobic. Does anybody see President Trump running from Muslim Americans or Jewish Americans or anybody else from any other religion in America? I haven't seen him running for nobody. I haven't seen him treating anybody bad. Matter of fact, I've seen him doing things for people. If President Trump does not get true results from the crooked election and stop believing the hype. Don't believe the hype. Joe Biden was never anywhere close to President Trump in the polls. There were big lies. Don't believe the polls. They're always, most of the time they're always wrong. Don't believe the hype. But the balance has been changed to the Republican. So in 2022, vote right. Vote that Democrat control. You're getting there anyway right now. Well, we need to get Nancy Pelosi out of there. All the corrupt Democrats are in there. This AOC and all these people. And all those elections were rigged, people. They're smaller elections so nobody noticed them. But have you wondered how these people keep winning year after year, yet they trashing their people? Nancy Pelosi with hundreds and thousands of people urinating on her streets, defecating on the sidewalks, and all of a sudden she's getting elected again. I told you what my theory is. My theory is, hey, we'll give you something if you go to the polls or you write this ballot in with your name, and we'll give you this or give you that. I took time to think about the times I was discriminated against. A lot of times I was discriminated against on the basis of my faith, the basis of my stance for truth, justice, and the American way. They wanted to silence me. Here I am right now, running my big mouth. But the Democrats are against all that is good in this nation. Don't believe me? Look at their ruling. Don't you love babies? I love babies. Anybody love babies here? I love babies. They want to kill them. Kamala Harris said clearly she wants to increase the time on abortion for abortion to happen. This is what they want. They had a fit when Amy Coney Barrett was set to as an associate justice for the Supreme Court. You know why? And they told us in their interviews with Amy Coney Barrett. They were afraid she was going to take the religious right, which I think she should anyway, and stop this abortion garbage that's going on and get rid of this Affordable Care Act, at least the parts of it that are unconstitutional. Well, I thank you for joining me here on the Black Conservative Voice. And yes, systemic racism does exist in America, and its name is Democrat Party. That's what systemic racism. Look at their history. I'm not making this up, people. Look at their history. And remember the fact that they don't want to hear what you got to say. Matter of fact, Hillary Clinton called you deplorables. Those that are conservative in my audience. You're deplorable. Or should I just use the N-word? Should I use the N-word? Because I know they love to use that. You go in their private conversation, I guarantee you, black people, that's exactly what they're calling us. Black or white. You think I'm joking? I've been around. Don't be fooled by the smiles, and we're going to do this, we're going to do it. 50 years in my hometown. They defeated Kasich, and I think that the election was underhanded too, because she was supported by Donald J. Trump. Some of this stuff won't be proven, but we're going to prove it. Democrat Party is going to get proven. And President Trump is going to keep going at it until we find out exactly what happened. So be scared. Be scared, because we're coming after you. Once again, I want to thank you for joining the Black Conservative Voice. My name is David Colbert. You're watching me here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Once again, I want to say what I always like to say to you before I leave. God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. Once again, thank you for joining me. This is David Colbert saying good night and God bless.